What's up, everybody? Ninja Nick here with Tactical Gaming, bringing you guys another video. So this one is Andy Biggs claims Fast and Furious isn't over, confronts ATF. Now, if you don't know what the Fast and Furious is, it was something that the ATF implemented about 15 years ago to try to find and apprehend anyone who's doing illegal firearm sales and all that other kind of stuff, right? Because this is back when they were like in the big avid, AR-15s are the bad guns. They vaporize people. You know what I mean? So it gets interesting in this, and this continuously proves why just get rid of the ATF. There's no point on giving them funding. There's no point on doing anything else. Completely get rid of it. If any of those agents want to go over to any of the other ABC agencies like FBI, NSA, whatever, let them. In my opinion, they shouldn't, and they should be investigated. And if proven that they've been weaponized by the federal government, which they have, then arrested, fined, and put in prison, never to be seen again. Okay, so we shall get into this.
Glad you finished up talking when you're talking about stolen weapons. When weapons get in the bad guy's hands, they're stolen from some group. We already had Mr. Gates talk about the weapons that were stolen from
That was great.
But let's just talk about it.
Thousands.
I know you thought Fast and Furious was over with. It's not over. It's not over. There's a licensed FFL that I am aware of that sold a weapon during that Fast and Furious time. Who did he sell it to? To ATF. Guess what? It was recently traced to a crime.
Yep.
Who's got to respond to that? The FFL.
Which is unfair.
It was ATF that ran Fast and Furious. 2,000 guns. 2,000 guns. And
2,000 guns.
Turned up in a crime.
And that's just on top of the thousands that they also lost at that, destruction center that they have.
Where'd it go? Well, you guys had guns stolen from you. So I want to know this. How many other guns from Operation Fast and Furious remain unaccounted for?
Operation Fast and Furious has been the subject of numerous reports, and I do not have.
See, this is why the dude, and I'm talking about the ATF director and everyone who's ever been appointed by Biden just needs to get removed and investigated, because it's always a talking fest. They sit there and just talk over words and words and words and words instead of actually saying yes, no, because these are all yes and no questions. They're easily, right here, because he's the director of the ATF. Doesn't matter if he hasn't been the director that long. It should be something that he knows. It's like, oh, hey, 15 years ago, this happened. We lost this amount of guns. And the fact that he doesn't have that information either means they have it and they don't want to tell it because it makes them look even more incompetent than they are, or they never kept the records, which also proves how incompetent they are. But not incompetent, but they were probably told by a specific side of the party, which would be, Democrats, the Blues, all that stuff. So we'll continue.
So you don't know.
I don't have the specific answer. I can get back to you if there's sources.
You don't know because there were over 2,000 guns. Last report that was published was that you'd recovered 700 of them. Mexico
700 out of 2,000.
50 people killed or maimed with guns that ATF had. It was Fast and Furious. That's what the radical left Democrats thought was a great program.
Yeah.
So don't elaborate and try to say, oh, hey, guess what? You know what? I can get you numbers. I would like those numbers.
Oh, the American people would like those numbers.
How many guns walked away altogether from ATF?
Since Fast and Furious.
During Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious, which was, I think, 15 years ago, there were reports I can check and get back to you with the public record, but we have implemented numerous controls to try and make sure that we're respecting public safety.
It happened earlier today.
There you go.
Record, but we have implemented
wait for
numerous controls
His
to
face.
try and make sure that we're respecting public safety.
His face, he's like, God dang it, man, I hate being here. You chose your spot, sir. You chose it. I hope the money that Dems and all of them gave you was worth your soul, sir. Because this is ridiculous that he can't give simple answers to simple questions. Like, at all. But, yeah. I love the look on his face. That's great.
Today,
Like, he's made some great
just
faces.
reported this year, the IG said that you still haven't implemented enough reforms, guidelines to watch over to make sure. You were the victim of how many guns were stolen from you guys?
Most of the items that were stolen from the National Destruction Branch, which is what I think you're referring to, were parts, were firearm components.
So
there were some number of firearms that were also.
So you're not going to tell us the number?
And I don't know, sitting here, the exact number of
How many guns from Fast and Furious were recovered at crime scenes?
Again, I don't want.
How many FFLs are you inspecting today because they sold to ATF during Fast and Furious? Do you know that?
I don't believe we're inspecting any FFLs.
That's a lie.
Well, sure you are. Sure you are.
Because of.
That's a lie. Because literally sometime last year, like earlier last year, right? They went to an FFL in Texas, I believe, somewhere. Because Heavy Duty Country did a video on this. Check him out. Dude's great. I love watching his videos. He's straight out honest. He holds no punches whatsoever. Love that guy. Heavy Duty Country. Check him out. But literally, the FFL owners were recording the ATF agent who was taking pictures of people's personal information. That's illegal. That was all over the internet. That was everywhere. Everywhere. But the ATF defended the agent and what they did. Now, granted, I'm pretty sure they had to let the agent go. Or they probably just hit her off somewhere. But, yeah.
Please allow me to finish.
Please allow me to finish.
That relates in any way, shape, or form to Fast and Furious.
Well, sure you are, because I know, because
Watch.
FFL contacted me and showed me the docs.
Yep.
You guys are inspecting and going after an FFL who sold to ATF.
I'm sorry if I misunderstood. I thought your question.
So, me working in a company fashion as asset protection back in the day, one of the many things that I had to do was investigate employees, right? And one of the investigations that we do is if we are aware or are made aware of an employee who is possibly stealing said materials from said location and or anywhere in general, then it's our job, whether it's a friend or not, so which is also why one of the policies as asset protection for anywhere is you cannot interact, hang out, or technically be friends. I mean, they don't really care if you're friends, but hanging out and everything and having a repertoire with people that you work with as asset protection, unless it's the team you're with, then yeah. And a part of that process is you're thoroughly watching what they're doing, you're taking notes, and you're getting all the information, video footage and everything else, and proof. And then you arrest them. You do this big old long list of whatever it is that they stole. And then the company, they not only fire the individual, they take him to court. And whether if the employee, or I should say ex-employee, pays the fine or doesn't, right? So if they don't, then it's criminal charges of theft, and then they go to jail, and then they serve their time, right? So in any normal circumstance, if someone steals something from somebody in a company, they're reprimanded, they're fired, and, they go to jail. But apparently if you work for the federal government, that part ain't true. You're pretty much, you can break any law you want as often as you want just because. And all you get is a slap on the wrist and let go. What?
Are we inspecting people because of conduct in Fast and Furious? It would be 15 years since it would be normal, which is normal course of business to inspect a federally licensed firearms dealer.
Sure. But the problem that we have here, and this is just one of many FFLs that are undergoing rigorous problems from you guys.
Yeah.
You guys. This is an FFL that's sold to an ATF agent. The ATF lost track of that weapon and gets used in a crime?
So this is speculation. Lost? No. Sold? Probably. But, that's speculation because, hey, government agencies are easily corrupted. DEA, you know what I mean? FBI, NSA, CIA, every single one of those ABC agencies that work for the federal government are all highly corrupt. Which is why, in my opinion, we should just get rid of them. Right? We should get rid of every single one of them. We should reform all that money that we use for all those agencies and use that for the security of our country, which means our borders, all around north, south, east, and west. I mean, all our borders, right? Make sure that our schools, where our children go to, are protected because the children are the future, period. Without our children, we have nothing. Okay? We got to make sure that our youth are educated in American history because there's another video I'm going to do to where one of these senators literally have to give this gentleman, Dettelbach, a history lesson on the Magna Carta and why the Magna Carta was actually signed and the importance of the Magna Carta, which irritates the crap out of me because the thing is, if you're going to be a part of a state agency or federal government or anything at all, one of the things you should have that's pristine knowledge is American history. In my opinion, if you're going to work for the American government, you're going to be working for the American people, you should have the utmost highest knowledge on American history. Period. At least that's my opinion. Now, a lot of people will be like, why? What do Americans do? We did a lot. That's just saying a little. But, yeah.
And now he's having to respond. Why isn't ATF having to respond? Because it gets back to the hypocrisy of your zero tolerance policy. You guys can't live up to your own requirements and guidelines, but you're going to go after FFLs.
Kind of funny.
This one. Kind of funny. A case where a customer of an FFL who's an American citizen of Armenian descent visited by ATF agents seeking information about his legal firearm purchases. When asked why they wanted to know about his firearm purchases, agents told him it was because he was born in Iran and had purchased multiple firearms from that FFL.
Doesn't that sound racist? Right? He's Iranian. He bought 3 guns, and they're like, oh, you know what? We're going to investigate you. You haven't done anything. There's no proof of anything. But because you're Iranian from Iran, and you bought 3 guns from this FFL, we're going to investigate you. Huh? But yet they won't investigate Hunter Biden, and I'm not talking about the ATF, I'm talking about federal government. They won't investigate Hunter Biden or the Biden crime family, who, since President Biden came into office, child sex trafficking and everything has skyrocketed, like, massively. And I'm going to be doing a video on the Biden crime family, so keep an eye out for that. But kind of ridiculous, huh? Like, zero tolerance for everyone else but them, which is why the ATF needs to go.
Think about that. How about this one? A different FFL.
They
have video cameras everywhere. They have one room. The ATF
inspector
goes in, takes the documents with him, and on their personal phone, starts taking pictures of all the documents. Personal phone. Is that normal? Is that normal to use your personal phone?
Again, I'm not familiar with the facts and circumstances of that.
Is that normal?
Okay, that exact thing that I brought up earlier. Heavy Duty Country did a video on it. If his video's still up on YouTube, I hope it is. You literally see the FFL licensee recording said actual, ATF agent. Click, 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 click. Literally. Because, the FFL's like, no, you can't take these. So instead, what they did was click, 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 click. They're everything. Everything. That's illegal. Matter of fact, actually, they got in trouble for that.
Part of you guys, but
We conduct our inspections pursuant to a procedure. It is a public procedure, and we follow that procedure in conducting those.
Including personal phones of your inspectors.
Time of the gentleman has expired. Chair now recognizes the gentleman from California for 5 minutes.
Did you hear that? That's ridiculous. Don't know who said that, but that was kind of funny. But yeah, go figure. Andy Biggs, heck yeah, man, rail into them. Like every single GOP person on this board needs to rail into the ATF director. That way, if ATF sticks around, the next one is gonna be like, yeah, my job is to do what Congress says, not what the President of the United States decides to say. Because the President says, we're going after guns. Because there's no defense against it. It's clear as a sunny blue, cloudless sky day. The fact that it's obvious that as soon as Biden says, we're going after these FFLs, we're going after these guns, we're doing this, we're doing that, and the ATF does exactly that. But yet, they hardly will investigate anybody when it comes to actual crimes. Make it make sense. But that's it for this video. Andy Biggs, heck yeah, man. Got more coming out. Keep an eye out. Later, y'all.